Hello everyone, Kevin Stevenson here, and welcome to the Get Me the Geek Show, where I talk about things that I enjoy in technology. It can be anything from home automation to Arduinos to Raspberry Pis or programming or anything IT related or technology near. So thanks for joining me here, and let's get started with today's show. Today we're going to talk about Mozilla's Firefox, and a little bit about what's going on with it in the news, and it's something I'm passionate about. So stick with me so we can talk about that. Let's get started. All right. So here we have. First off, I just want to say that Firefox is my preferred browser. Let me get. Hey, look, there's a picture of me. Easier to talk this way. So I just want to talk a little bit about Firefox. It is my preferred browser. I've been using Firefox for a long time. I try to use them all. Being in IT, I tend to need to use them just so that I have the experience of what all of my clients are doing. But Firefox, I've been with Firefox for a very long time. So what I've done here. First off, I'm going to show you a slide. Here's a slide. I got it from this website. So if you want to check out this person's article, I'm just using this slide just to show you. But I want to give this person credit. So if you want to take a look at that URL, you can get to this. But all I did was just search for Mozilla Firefox timeline. So back in 1998, Mozilla.org launched this thing called Netscape. Anyway, so Netscape Navigator was the first browser that, well, actually it's technically the second browser that I used. I used Mosaic's browser in the very, very beginning, but Netscape was the king of the road and used it for a very, very long time. And then eventually came along Phoenix, which I think they had some licensing issue with the name or something like that, but then they changed the name to Firefox, and we've been Firefox since 2004 moving forward. Now, that's just a little brief history of what's going on here. Mozilla organization has been around for a long time, and they are do a lot of things, and I'm sad to see some things changing with them. If you look back, I have other videos on Firefox Send, which is a great service for sending large files and getting things going. If you needed to send files to your clients or your friends or whatever easily, and that's been shut down because of a number of reasons. And then they cut a couple other projects and things like that. So long story short, Mozilla Firefox is kind of in trouble. They're struggling a little bit. And that's because their market share has dropped so drastically. Take a look at this chart. And so here's this article up here. Take a look at this chart. This is another article I found I just read the other day, and this is what made me want to do this. So if you look at the blue line here, where we go from 30% market share all the way in 2009, all the way down to less than 5% in 2019. We're going to talk about that red line here in a minute, just for a second too. But if you want to read this article, I highly recommend it. I'll drop a link to it in the show notes here, so you can check it out. But so the thing is, it's been dropping in share. Firefox mostly makes their money off of advertisings from their search. When you go into Firefox, that default search is Firefox. Let me just pop it open here. So like here, see how it has this Google? That's Google pays them to do this. And you might notice that I'm using new Edge in this video. I just I use them all, and Edge is kind of where I do my videos, just because I don't have very many plugins and things like that installed on it, and it's less personalized or whatever. So, but I will say Firefox is great, and And one of the reasons why I think it's great is, number one, they've kind of became more privacy focused, which I think is awesome. Because when you use Chrome, you're leaking a lot of personal identifiable information all over the place with Chrome. And if you're loaded up with plugins and everything, you're also leaking a lot of stuff through all those plugins and everything. So these little guys up here at the top, you see. And I have some of them in Firefox too. But the thing is Chrome has become overly dominant in the market. And personally, I don't think that's a good thing. I like Chrome. Chrome is a great rendering engine, but Google, the caretaker of Chrome and the Chromium project, is an advertising company. So by and large, their goal is to collect your data and sell that for advertising stuff. So if you're okay with that, by all means, continue using Chrome, but competition is also good in the market. So I really recommend you check out either Edge, which by the way is built on the Chromium engine, which is the same rendering engine that Chrome is. So it's more or less a one-to-one swap out of Chrome. And I recommend using Firefox. I love Firefox because it is, well, honestly, it's not Google, and it's the one I grew up using, and I really just like a lot of things about it. So, but neither here nor there. Whether you want to use Chrome or Edge or Firefox is up to you. I recommend that, like I said, I recommend that if you are interested in a little bit of privacy, Firefox has got your back there. And if you're looking for even more privacy, if you're even more concerned with that, maybe check out the Brave browser. But today, I just wanted to talk a little bit about this chart. I was reading this article, and frankly, it made me mad. I look at this and go, because if you've read the news, all the news, like Firefox is in trouble. You know, they just redid their deal with Google for their search engine revenue. They're dropping projects, and they're laying off people, and that just sucks. Because it's a great product, and read this article, by the way. They're de-emphasizing Firefox, which is honestly the only thing they should be caring about. They're working on this VPN product, but hello, I don't know if everybody noticed, but we don't need another VPN provider. There's 1,000 of them out there, and they're all fine. So to use the Firefox one, why? There's no real good reason to use it over someone else's. So I think it's a bad idea. I just think that they've kind of lost their way. So just for a second here, what this chart shows you is the pay of Mozilla's top executive. And so you look here, back in 2009, $500K. That's a lot of money, but it's a reasonable amount of money. And everything, slowly going up, which is totally understandable. You get paid more each year, that type of thing. Also, what happened here in 2016 and 17? They said, hey, let's just massively increase our money. How much we pay our top exec, which frankly, what's a top exec doing at Firefox anyway? The developers, this is really, a project that, developers and, they don't sell anything. I don't get it. Especially what did this person deserve that caused them to justify doubling their salary? Who knows? And then if that was enough, next year let's go ahead and give us another raise. I don't know, but just look at that money. Just think of that $1 million there. That could be used for advancing Firefox. Yeah, so I'm not against the chairman or this guy getting paid money, but honestly, if your company's struggling and you're doing this sort of stuff, I think that's BS. So who knows? That's my rant on this. I just wanted to bring up Firefox and all those good things. And maybe check out this article, like I said, or Google a little bit more of the news on what's going on with Firefox. You know, just here is the title of this article: Firefox usage down 85%. Why are the exec salaries up 400%? That's a good question. Frankly, they should fire that person because they're not doing a good job because of their you know, the market share. But I will say you should go out and use Firefox. I love it. Now let me just show you my Firefox. So first of all, many people are like, oh, well, what about all my Chrome plugins? You see this? Firefox has plugins too. You can go over here to the add-ins sections and go to and see all these things. Most of these things you want. So what do you use? I use uBlock Origin. DevTools works on that. This JSON Lite, Bitwarden, which is my preferred password manager. What runs? Just a whole bunch of things here. So I can use Start Page as my search engine. So for your what is it you want to do? So most of them there, like if you're a LastPass user, you will see that LastPass is there, RoboForms, basically anything that you want to use that you have for a Chrome plugin, you're going to find it in Firefox too. So that being said, also let's just go ahead and look at some of the privacy stuff. Let's just go in options, go to privacy. So, and this is one of the reasons why I like this program: enhanced tracking protections. By default, this is the standard. You see that standard? This is what you get by blocking social media trackers, cross-site cookies, tracking, and all these things here. Crypto miner, fingerprinters. Fingerprinters, you might want to know what is fingerprinting the browser and your system. It's a different way of tracking that's not cookies. And so like Firefox is protecting you, protecting your personal data out of the box. And that's just on the standard. Go look at the strict. It goes even farther. And then custom, you can go and you can change these things. Now, do not track is a thing that you can put on that you can send in your browser, and if the website honors it, they don't do the tracking. Honestly, feel like it's completely ignored, but you can send that do not track always if you want. And so you got all these good things here. And if you're also wondering, like, well, what about my syncing of bookmarks and stuff that I get with Chrome? It's in here. You can do it. See right here, sync. You make a little account, you sync, you sign it in, boom, boom, boom. Let's also look. Firefox.com. So you might be wondering, and you can get, let's see, it shows you here. At any rate, let's see, here we go. You can get Firefox on your Google Android device or your Apple device. And if you're wondering, does your bookmarks and your history and all that sync between them if you're signed in and between your Android or your iOS and your desktop? The answer is yes, most definitely yes. So go for it and use it. And let me tell you this, on my phone in Firefox, I have uBlock Origin installed on the phone. So like, I get really annoyed, and I don't know about you guys, but if you get really annoyed and you're on your phone or your tablet and you're going to these websites and you're just bombarded with advertisement all over the place, and it really gets in the way of your experience, Firefox is a good answer there. Because you go into Firefox, first of all, by default, it's going to block some of that stuff. Second of all, you can install plugins in Firefox and use uBlock Origin or another ad blocker in the mobile version. And let me tell you, that is an extremely better experience than using the default the default Safari or the default Google Chrome in your mobile devices. So that right there is 90% of the reason why I use Firefox on my mobile device. Hey, that's all I have for you today. This has been 15 minutes of the Get Me the Geek show. We just switch over here. So the Get Me the Geek show, that's a new show I'm working on, and I'm going to start putting out these short little tidbits about it may be a little bit of ranting like this one kind of was, but mostly I'm just going to talk tech and things in the news and all things like that. Coming up on the slate, I'm going to talk about RISC processors and ARM and what I think about that whole battle that's going on with NVIDIA. So stay tuned for the next episode where we'll talk about that or something else that pops in my mind at that time. So thanks for joining me, and we'll see you next time.